just dream that? I was in fact not dreaming. This is the very first video in my series, Glacier to Yellowstone. So here's the plan. Starting out by showing you a part of Glacier that most people don't take the time to see. A part that's away from the crowds. Round trip will be over 13 miles of rugged terrain, and we'll see how my body handles that with a 50-pound pack. The next leg will be to drive all the way around Glacier National Park to stay in a remote off-grid cabin. Now for this video, I've partnered with Clearwater Properties for two reasons. One, it enables me to make these videos. Number two, it gives me the unique opportunity to show you some places that people will never get to see, except in this video. Look, I know you guys want to come along this trip, and I think on this trip, you're gonna have to stay here. Now next week, get ready, boys. Get ready. 6 a.m. on day one, I'm headed for Cut Bank Trailhead in Glacier National Park. Hiking into that. That's the thing about Glacier is it's so unbelievably beautiful compared to Yellowstone, even, in my opinion. So you definitely don't go anywhere in Glacier Park alone. I'm all packed up. I got my bear spray, my gun. I'm gonna slip on my pack, which, because of my camera gear and all the stuff I take to film, it's going to be fairly heavy no matter what I do, but I'm not sure if my pack is adjusted right. It's not tight enough here, that's for sure. I've been losing weight ever since all right, here we go. 6.5 miles. Look at the scenery already. I mean, this is just where we start. Can't believe Calabar's missing this. Walking up this trail, you can see there's a lot of these little berries here. They look like raspberries, but they're actually thimbleberries. They have a lot more little modules. I'm not a huge fan of thimbleberries, so I'm not gonna eat any of these. So it's about 48 degrees this morning. Look at these. They're like a little blue berry, but they aren't blueberries because they're not growing on a bush. They're just like a single one. Anybody know what that is? Because I sure don't. That every step you take away from the pickup is also a step you have to take back to the pickup. I'm pacing myself because I want to make a nice, gentle trip in, so I have lots of leg left to come all the way back to the pickup without making it excruciatingly miserable. I mean, really, I'm by myself, which I didn't really expect. I thought it'd probably be like 100 people on this trail, not just, 3 or 4. And there might be later in the day, I don't know, but it's very, very pleasant. I'm so surprised. It may not be as pleasant if you run into a bear when you're by yourself, but some of those beautiful country in the world that you can hike or ride right through. This is what bear scat looks like because it has berries all in it. See there? So that's definitely bear scat. There's a trail here. Goes right down there, down this bottom. I love this when there's a fork in the trail, right there or right here, and there is no sign. So it's like, well, which way do you go? So luckily, I have Onyx maps, and I'm pretty sure this is the trail I need to take, judging from the Onyx map. So I'm gonna go this way. It would used to be paper maps, and on a paper map, you didn't really know where you were going because you couldn't tell where you were. There's probably a waterfall right over this thing here. No, it's not actually a waterfall, it's just a cliff. Kind of makes you dizzy to stand on the edge of these these cliffs like this. That's where we're going. We're going to that peak and then to the left, I believe. both of my uncles were actually hunting south of here, and one of them decided to walk through some stuff like this, and the other one was going to go up on this rocky point and look down in there to see if he scared anything out of there. And so when he went up on the rocky point, my Uncle Todd, he was watching his brother walk down there, and there was a massive grizzly just sitting on his haunches in the trees watching Steve go by, and Steve never even saw him. It's probably 20 yards away. So that kind of stuff most likely happens quite often in places like this, because as long as they feel like they're not seen, typically they're not going to give their position away. They're just going to stay there. All right, now this is some views. So one of the things, this is 360-degree view. Look at this. Behind me is those mountains, which are just solid rock everywhere. I'm right below this massive peak right here. And then that mountain across the way. Down in this valley. Look at that. The river's going down through there. And I'm sure the lake I'm headed to is up in that canyon up there. Wow, just beautiful, isn't it? I'm kind of slow at picking these things, but these are huckleberries. Oh man, they're so dang good. They're like the perfect amount of sweet and bitter, well, or starchy, whatever. That like refreshes your mouth. Interesting thing about huckleberries is you can't grow them domestically. They've never been able to figure out how to do that. They just won't grow. So the only place you can find them is in the wild. The wild places. Being in a place this wild often makes me think, you know, how the mountain men did it, because this trail right here, if this wasn't here, then that's what you'd have to walk through. That's so thick with downfall and trees, and I just don't know how you would ever get through it. Now back then they did have Indian trails. They followed the Indian trails. You had to know where they were. I doubt they were this nice, and they weren't like cleared every year with a saw. This is for my wife to see how big these huckleberries are. She's gonna be so jealous. These things are huge. I think I'm getting close to the lake here. I think there's an, oh yep, there's an opening right here. There's the lake. There's a lake. Now on the map, this one does not have a name. So I'm not positive if this is actually the one I'm shooting for or not. And the one I'm shooting for isn't on the map, or it has a different name. But if it's the next one up, whew, wow, that would be something, because I'd have to climb that next enormous mountain. I'm not sure I got it in me to do that and then come all the way back down to the pickup. I'm not that young anymore, you know? This is where I'm going, right here. I looked at the map and talked to a guy that's doing the Continental Divide Trail. He's gone 7,000, he's hiked 7,000 miles, which is unreal in the last 5 years. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna set up, just have some coffee and some lunch, and then I'm gonna keep an eye out. I haven't seen one fish jump. Now with the sun shining like this, there should be fish jumping if there's going to be fish in here at all. But if there's no fish in here, then it don't really matter. And it's very likely that there isn't any fish in here from the looks of it. That guy was probably pushing 60 or maybe 60 years old, and he's gonna hike 24 miles today, and he's gonna gain 5,000 something feet in elevation doing it. So in Glacier Park, you have to have reservations at each one of these lakes has little campsites, and it's very limited availability, and you have to have a reservation at that. And that's why I'm not camping, because it's too much of a hassle for me. I was like, I don't know, I've never been to any of these lakes, so where do I even get a camping permit for? I'm hungry, so I'm gonna make something to eat here. So what I'm carrying, of course, I'm carrying, you know, a bag full of batteries. Here's my food bag. So I just have a backpacker meal, some coffee in there. I've got a couple cans of sardines, and then I brought along some butter, salt and pepper, just in case I was able to catch a fish up here, a non-native fish. So you can eat fish in Glacier as long as they're non-native. If they're native West Slope cutthroat, you can't keep those. But Yellowstone cutthroat, which is a different cutthroat trout, and anything like rainbows or brookies or anything like that. But I was looking in the creek all the way up here. I didn't see one fish in the creek. And when you're looking down in those crystal clear creeks, you can see the fish in there. I believe it was 20 years ago or so, maybe a little bit more, they stopped stocking these lakes. So they used to put fish in here. That's why all these non-native fish are in here. Rainbow trout and brookies and Yellowstone cutthroat. They used to stock them in these lakes up here. And they decided to stop doing that so they could get it back to a native population of West Slope cutthroat. But they didn't stock West Slope cutthroat. I guess the process maybe is that they leave them alone and the West Slope cutthroat will actually begin to reproduce themselves. This kind of sucks because there's nothing in this thing. Cutthroat jump. They're eating flies all the time. There's flies all over. I can see them everywhere. If there was fish in here, they'd be jumping. What I have in here, I mean, I have my paper. I got a little bit of paper towels, some toilet paper just in case. Got my Duckworth hoodie sweatshirt. I've got my Duckworth vest. I got the fly reel, a fly bag, a coffee pot, full-size coffee pot, my coffee cup right here, and then I have in here also, I have my other batteries, a charger, a microphone, and a sleeping bag, sleeping pad, my big camera. My big camera's in there. This is actually a spot and scope pocket on the Stone Glacier pack. And I brought that along just in case I saw some wildlife somewhere I could set up and get a close view of it. But that adds a whole ton of weight too. Mountain goats climb that stuff. That's what's insane. I don't know how they do it, but you see them right out on those cliffs. I don't see any right now, but it's sitting a little crooked, but it's not bad. 6.5 miles for me, so it's going to be a 13-mile round trip. That's quite a bit for my feet. My ankle starts hurting after about 6. So this is wild caught sardines. My view is you should always eat sardines if you can't have fish, I guess. So I'm not sure if that's the truth or not. These are Mediterranean style though, so they have some peppers and stuff in it. Sardines never really look appetizing. It's like a slimy fish with a bunch of sauce on it. Smells good though. That's actually pretty good. Very oily, obviously, but really good. Salty. It's got, what does it taste? I don't know, tomatoey maybe? Keep my eye out behind me in case some critter comes down that trail. Take that off. So you want just a low boil for the coffee, because otherwise it'll boil right over. 2 of these. Probably enough. Starting to boil the grounds down. Look at that. You got to try it sometime, you know, just put it right in the water, just like that. Makes a smooth cup of coffee. I really can't believe I hiked 6.5 miles to get to a lake, as pretty as it is, that has no fish in it. I already drank 2 liters since I've been here. So I'm gonna sterilize this water out of the lake and then use it for my drinking water, fill up my other water bottle. Currently, I am literally the only person at this lake in Glacier National Park, which is in the busiest time of year too. Who knew? Look at that. Look at that. Look how smooth that is. Got a couple of like wood chips in it. Maybe I should have washed that pot out before I did this. Probably would have been a good idea. I think I got some wood chips in it from being in the pannier. Should have rinsed that out. I tried a different coffee this time. It's like a vanilla nut. That is so good. So anything you do out in the backcountry, but especially in a park, don't leave your rocks where you put them. Put them back where you found them. So I got these rocks from over here and I'm gonna put them right back where I got them from. That's where they were. Just remember, the goal of a national park like this is natural and wild. So you don't want something that looks like a human made this right here. You want it to look like it was when you got here. Just gonna do some exploring because can't do any fishing. I don't know, I can't believe if I went to the only lake in Glacier Park that doesn't have fish in it. That's kind of stupid. That's why my sweatshirt needs to go in there. Dang it. There, now my pack is just as heavy as when I came up. So I lost no weight in it. So it's gonna be just as heavy on the way back down. Good grief, that's heavy. I'm not even staying overnight. I did take my sleeping bag and pad along, but I have no intention of actually staying out here. But I took them along because I like to be prepared for the worst. So if something really bad were to happen and I had to spend the night somewhere, I'd rather do it in my sleeping bag. Let's go check out these campsites and see what they look like. I'm gonna have to carry my sticks and my Camera in one hand, my coffee in the other for a minute. This is the first time I've ever seen a backcountry campground in Glacier. So every place you can camp is designated spot. So this has a toilet right there. That's kind of nice. I don't know how if they move that around or what, or somebody come in here and pack out the crap. I'm not sure. But anyway, then they have the hitching rail right here. This is where you can put horses. You can't put horses in any of the campsites. So this is where you have to put them right there. I'm not sure where you're supposed to water the horses if you can't put them in the campsites, but one camp spot right there. Should be people coming pretty quick to camp in these because there's nobody here. Interestingly, there's just flat nobody here. Back in here, I think, is where you're supposed to hang all your food and do your cooking. Because there's so many bears in Glacier, I don't see the hang. Oh, it's way over there. That's a long ways over here. Okay, so all three campsites, you have to hang your food over here, and you put it over here. You don't ever bring it into the campsite at all. So you hang it up on this pole right here so that bears can't get to it. And then you prepare your food right here. This is where you do your cooking. So you cook right here, and then when you're done cooking, you put your food back up in the tree and go back to your campsite. So you never bring the food anywhere near your tent. See, I had to do this because back in the 80s, people weren't being very careful. The rules were more lax, and people were starting to they had a few incidents of people getting eaten in their tents. So they went to this system. It's very wise to keep all that separate so you don't have any food in your camping area at night. I'm just shocked that I'm here all by myself. I'm kind of surprised at that. There's nobody in this campground except me. The lake's right there too, although it doesn't really matter if the lake's right there because there's no fish in it. So I'm gonna walk all the way out of here and then drive around to the other side of Glacier, spend the night over there, and then head up to a cabin in the remote north of Montana. Let's go do her. Look at the amount of huckleberries. Every bush that you pass up here near this lake, they're just huckleberries everywhere. There are a couple ducks out there diving, so they must be eating something like shrimp maybe, or something off the bottom. This rock here was sitting there, so a bear rolled that. Those are typical. Bears are looking under there for grubs and other insects. You'll also see rotten logs that are torn open. Those are all signs of bears. Starting to get a little hot. Probably like 70 degrees, you know. Well, I'm tired. And I don't know how much weight I'm carrying. Probably, obviously, way too much. I bet it's more like 60 pounds. Stupid. I don't know how I got that much weight in there. It kind of makes me feel like a wuss because these guys, I mean, there was a young guy that passed me this morning. That doesn't bother me. He's young. But there was that 60-year-old guy. Oh man, he's doing 20 miles today. He did like Camp 11 yesterday. That's insane. Okay. So, I don't think that's the best way to do that, is to hike, you know, once or twice and here and there, and then stick a 60-pound pack on and hike 13 miles. Probably should have some intermittent steps in there. Oh, that pickup looks so good. That looks like ice cream. That's what it looks like. It looks that good. Holy crap, my feet are killing me. Oh, it feels like a weight lifted right off my shoulders. I'm gonna make a sandwich for the road. 2 slices of that. That's homemade sourdough. My wife makes homemade sourdough, so I figured, you know, why not take that one? She'll also make some homemade bagels. All right, here's some butter. I need some extra calories to fix what I lost, so I'm gonna take some of this off of here. I'm just gonna put it on this bread. Yep, right there, good. Get a little more on there. Half a stick of butter or so. Meat on there, lots of meat. Add some mayo to it for some extra fat again. Didn't have any fish, so oh. I needed some calories. I don't know if it's a great idea to get in this pickup and sit here for a long time because I might get awful stiff. I drove for a couple hours, then I turned off the highway to look for a place to camp for the night. All right, well, I'm up on the very top of a mountain of an insane road. It just goes straight up. There is a little campsite here. But right now, I better set up the tent. Well, I always thought it would be interesting and possibly handy in the wintertime if I could set up the tent in the back of the pickup. So I don't know if you think that's interesting, but I'm gonna attempt it. I don't know if it'll actually fit, but it might. I think this is actually gonna work. You got like 2 inches there. The only thing you don't have is something to tie this to out here. But other than that, I don't know if you really need that. So I'm gonna crawl in bed and see if it works. Gotta get in quick because there's a bunch of mosquitoes out there. It'd be interesting if this worked, because in the wintertime, if I don't have anything and it's, you know, it's all snowy, I could put this tent back here. So tired. I'm gonna go to bed. So good night. And then we'll head to the cabin tomorrow morning. Well, good morning. Well, that worked pretty good. So somebody was having a party around the corner there. I heard all the music thumping and everything for a while, but other than that, I did pretty good. I gotta get up and get rolling. A little sore from yesterday, but ready to roll. Well, I'm surprised. My feet are doing so much better. Last night they were hurting so bad from after that long hike with so much weight on. But actually today they're feeling pretty good. So I'm really curious to drive up this road and see what that boombox noise was last night. If there's actually somebody up there, or if I just dreamt that. Maybe I'm really close to like a big campground or something. If it was real, it had to be pretty dang close. It had to be right up here. I mean, there's a campsite there, but nobody's there. I don't know. Maybe I totally dreamt that. I gotta go quite a ways up to the cabin, but I just thought I would let you see this. This is pretty sweet view up here. You're seeing that's Flathead Lake out there, the top one. And then there's a lake over here and a lake over here. I don't know what those are, but.
No, I like to work at the fun meals after the race.
I started off from Kalispell, Montana this morning, and it said 69 miles to this cabin, but it's gonna take me 2.5 hours to get there. That is not because of traffic, that's because the pavement ends. So I'm actually following, this is the North Fork of the Flathead River. That's beautiful, isn't it? You see all that, there's some burnt timber up above it. It's a very high population of grizzly bears. You can look down here, it's just straight off. Look at that, oh my goodness, that's a cliff. I don't know, 500, 600 feet down to the river. Woo. My legs are pretty tired from yesterday. The pickup has become a mess. Right there, the pavement ends. Now we're on gravel. So the cabin I'm going to is actually for sale by Clearwater Properties in Montana. So they sell properties that are really remote and special. We've been on gravel for a little while. We're headed to almost Canada. So if you want somewhere that's absolutely remote and has a bit of that pristine feel to it, I think this is gonna be something that you would like. If you're looking for a unique or remote or perhaps off-grid cabin or homestead somewhere, you need to check out Clearwater Properties. Go to the website, clearwaterproperties.com, or click on the link in the description. This is the little town of Polebridge, which is way north. It looks like a pretty hopping little place for being in the middle of absolutely nowhere. But it does have a little general store, so let's go see what they got. And we'll also see kind of how friendly people are. Oh, come on, they're way better than blueberries.
Are they way better?
Oh, yeah. Darn right.
I'll get some.
You can't grow them in captivity either.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They only grow wild.
Postate cookies? Yes, $30.50.
So that's about it for Polebridge. There's just the store, and then there's a restaurant right here. It's a saloon and grill. And I think that's about it. It's the last place, there's no gas or anything. Well, it's still so cold in there that my butter is actually hard. Hoping to spread it on there, but I guess I won't. A good thick sandwich here for the road. We still got quite a ways to go to get to the actual cabin. Put my hat right there. Seems to fit right there. If you leave the front over, then it doesn't flatten your hat out. So again, I'm 4 miles away from the Canadian border, and you can see the mountains of Glacier Park right over there. right from here all the way along there. So it's right next to Glacier Park. And here's the cabin right here. Look at this. It's tucked back in the woods. It's a very remote place too. Let's go inside and see what it looks like. So here's the kitchen. You walk right into the kitchen and living room right here. It's got a little stove. What this is a fan that works on heat. So as this heats up, it turns the fan to kind of blow air around. And it's a wood stove. Got a little stack of wood there. Gas range. This is obviously propane as well. Right here, propane lights. So there's propane lights there, so you have to light those. They have wicks on them. Let's see what's under here. Just storage under there. Looks like they're renovating a little bit. There's no countertop in here yet. I see. Nice cabinets though. Brand new cabinets. Cabinets are new. See there? Back stop for the heat deflection for the stove. And then you got a staircase going up to the loft here. So let's go up here. Yeah. The little loft up here. It's a log bed. This room is pretty cool. It's got windows right out here, right here, and on this side as well. So you can see out into the yard. You got a view of the mountains over there above the trees. It's all wood and beautiful wood paneling as well. It's very nice. It's very sweet. Okay, and this is all, looks like this whole thing is new. The floor is new, the wall, that might not be, might be new too. The wood paneling looks new. I don't know when this was built, but it looks pretty new. Let's go around the yard and see what's outside. You go outside, you can see out here on the front porch, it's got a beautiful front porch here. And then in here you got a wood box for the fireplace. Let's see, there's a couple of buildings over here. Let's go see what we got. And you can see that's the old outhouse right there. The old original outhouse. So I'm guessing this must be newly renovated because the whole inside looks new. So, all right. Okay, so here's a outhouse. It's concrete floor. It's got a toilet. Beautiful view while you're sitting on the toilet. And then in here is, oh, I see. It's a little shower area. So you can either take that outside and warm it up, or you can put some water in here and then take a shower with this. So, I see. Well, that's a very roomy, big toilet area, that's for sure. So there's a storage shed right here. Something's been down here trampling the grass, or maybe bedded down there. Here's an old fire pit. You want to feel like you're by yourself, this is the place to be. I'm gonna walk around on this property and just kind of see how big it is and what it's got on it. Oh man, this is cool. So somebody had an old original cabin here, it looks like. This thing's been here for a while, let's just say that. I don't think it was ever finished. Maybe it was, but I think somebody started a log cabin and didn't finish it. Yeah, that's some modern chainsaw marks, so it wasn't like axe period. It was like 50s, 60s, something like that. It's got a lot of deep woods. So most of the property I can see is this kind of stuff. Here's some huckleberries right here. Right there, a couple huckleberries. Not a lot of them, but they sure are good. I'm just a few miles from the cabin. I'm right on the border of Canada. Canada is right over there, about 50 feet. I'm just headed down here to the river. This is the North Fork of the Flathead River. I'm gonna get some water for tonight. So this is a rafting setup here. They put their rafts in here. So they got, I guess those are probably slides to put their rafts on. So this is water probably direct straight out of Canada, since Canada's, no, this is water straight out of Canada. Canada's right there, so. So right over on the other side is Glacier Park too. So you got Canada, Glacier Park, and this is National Forest right here. All right, got all the water I need for tonight and tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna put my Sterapin back in my backpack so I don't lose it. And then we'll head back and start cooking some supper, I think. So right here is the border crossing. It's not in use anymore. You can see over there, you can't, it says entry into Canada is prohibited. So it used to be you probably go through that little shack there. Must have been a road that went into Canada. I don't know how far it went or nothing, but been closed for a long time, it looks like to me. All right, so far this has been just basically eating on the run kind of a trip. But tonight, I'm gonna eat some lamb burger. Gonna melt some butter in there. There's a guy over in Coffee Creek, Montana. I did an interview with him. It's right here. His name's Matthew, and he's doing some really cool stuff with his ranch there. And one of the things they're doing is raising sheep for meat. So he gave me some burger. Now this is about 4 pounds, so I'm gonna put half of it in there. There we go. Nice and seasoned. Smells very mild, and yet a distinct lamb smell in there. If you know what it smells like, you can kind of get the lamb smell. Lamb is like something every single predator loves to eat, like sheep. They're like one of the first things a predator will kill. So, except for my dog. My dog is deathly afraid of the smell of cooking sheep. This on here. We're just gonna stick them right down in there, like that. And get them frying in butter. All right, look at that. Sourdough toast, toasted with some butter in it. Hot. And the lamb. Perfect. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of onion. Just enough seasoning to make that mild lamb flavor taste like something. Zero off-putting flavor of any kind in this stuff. It has its own distinct flavor, but it's very, very mild. You hear that crunch? I'm gonna scarf down a pound of lamb burger and a couple pieces of sourdough toast. I'm gonna set up my sleeping bag inside, settle down for the night. I'm exhausted. Only thing I didn't get to do is fish, but that's coming next week. Like I said, I find myself in some unique situations. If you sit right here, you can see right through there, you can see that mountain. Sitting on a porch almost to the Canadian border. One of the most remote areas in the mountains I can think of. Absolutely amazing. Well, there goes that meal. That was good. I needed that. Pick me up. I would really like to start a fire in there for you, but since it's like 78 degrees in here, I'm not going to. Well, that's it for me for this very first video of my series. I'm gonna go to bed in the deep woods of the north. Until next week.